I was told my back would never heal. I've battled with low confidence my entire life. And I've never felt happy looking in the mirror. Fast forward to today, and my back has completely healed. I'm now confident as a person, and now my body looks, functions, and feels better than ever before. It's time to learn how to overcome physical and mental barriers, how to build a sustainable lifestyle, and build a body that looks, feels, and functions the way you've always desired. You're listening to the Redesign Your Body Show with Jake.
Welcome to the Redesign Your Body radio show, and also as a podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. I'm coming to you live from the Apple 98.5 FM hub and studio. All right, so today's episode, if you are wondering, if you haven't read the title and you've just clicked on, well, it's about me. I'm Jake Pearson, I'm the host, and I want to give you my story. You know, where did I grow up? What got me into fitness, and why am I so passionate about helping people? So in today's episode, you're going to get all that, a bit of experience from me, and experience also my personality and, you know, my quirks, and get to know me a little bit. So I was born in Australia, down in a place called Sunshine. And I lived in places such as Sunbury, Victoria, Churchill, Queensland, Maryborough, Victoria. That's where I grew up actually for about 8 till 18. And then I moved to Bacchus Marsh, Victoria, where I've lived for, the last few years, maybe like 4 or 5 years. I've kind of lost count. It all blended together. And you know that when you age, that's what happens, right? I got uncomfortable in my body. So we're going to talk about that, because at some point I did get uncomfortable, and I'll run you through that. So I'd always have a part of me that was uncomfortable in my body, right back to a young early teen. So in my own skin, I didn't feel comfortable. But it was around 2016 and 2017, I think. I can't remember the exact specifics, when a woman told me that I didn't look like a personal trainer. And that really hit me hard. It was like I was punched in the gut by Rocky Balboa. I didn't have abs or big ripped muscles, and I was still struggling to figure out who I was at the time. And I don't mean that in a relationship type way. I just meant as a person, what did I want to achieve? What were my passions, etc.? What do I want to see myself doing in 5 years? And all I had were my hobbies and work. So when they told me that, it felt like I'd been punched really hard in the stomach or slapped in the face really hard. My previous attempts at changing, as a young lad, I'd been active for quite a long time. I'd been doing lots of running and cycling, and I hit the gym at about 15 to 16. This was my first real attempt at changing my body, and I did see some visible progress, but like any young bloke, I had no idea about the nutrition side of things. And they don't teach you that in the schooling systems. They don't teach you how to stay healthy. They take you through the physical education side of things, but they don't teach you about how to fuel your body, how to eat better, they just say, oh, eat vegetables, eat fruits. They give you the basic health guidelines. They don't teach you any valuable skills unless you do maybe some of the cooking classes. So when I became a PT, I thought it would all fall into place, but nothing really changed except my exercise routine. And from time to time, I'd change the weight exercises I would complete in the gym, but that was all. 2017 saw me reach out to my now good friend and mentor, Matt Wolfs, and I worked with him for about 12 weeks to try and get into shape. So I had the diet mindset back then. I was like, oh, I'll do a 12-week program with you, and I'll achieve all my goals, and that's it. And then I'll never want to do anything ever again. But I didn't embrace his guidance or support. So that's number 2 where I failed. Number 1, that diet mindset mentality, that mindset of I'm only going to do it for a set amount of time. That's a diet mindset, and that didn't help me accomplish anything. Number 2 is when I didn't embrace his guidance and support at all, and stopped listening to him for only about 5 weeks in. And this is because I honestly wasn't ready to be coached, and my reason to change wasn't strong enough. And I'll cover that in a future topic. So, what happened when I realized I needed to do something about my own health? Okay, this is my little, moment for me where everything just went, all right, snap. You need to do something. I bulged a disc in my lower back. So in my lumbar region. So you have 3 sections of your spine. The C's, the T's, and the L's. Okay. Also the S's, and then the sacrum and the coccyx at the bottom, all that. But what I'd done was so you have these disc, like sort of capsules of liquid that sort of sit between your vertebrae, and one of those pushed out onto a nerve, like a protrusion, if you want to get more technical, but it pushed out into a nerve and it caused some pretty excruciating pain. So that's a bulging disc. So it pushed down on the right side and it caused the excruciating pain in these activities, walking. Sleeping on my stomach, that was unbearable at times. I couldn't do that, and that's how I love to sleep every day. So for 2 years, I pretty much couldn't do that, which really sucked. And exercises in the gym, couldn't even do that, like squatting, deadlifting. If I arched my back into a natural arch on a bench press, couldn't do that. There were so many things, even ab exercises on the ground. Couldn't even do that because I'd compromised my lower back. I didn't have that self-awareness. So there was just so many things going on that I got overwhelmed. And, then something just snapped. I can't remember that exact moment. I just went, all right, I'm not going to let this beat me. I had to take several weeks off training, okay, because I was diagnosed in August 2017 with the condition. And, I guess that's around after the MRI, after seeing the physio, when I was told I'd start to... my fitness and my health would deteriorate, and that I had to take time off training, and that I would always be in this kind of pain forever. That was probably the point where it snapped for me, now that I think about it. If we're talking about that specifically, not everybody can remember it, but that for me was when, okay, I'm not going to let myself get out of shape, and I'm not going to let this thing beat me, and I don't want to be in pain for the rest of my life. So that for me, I guess, with certainty, probably 99% sure, that's when I went, I'm not letting this happen, okay? So my light bulb moment, you could say that little light bulb appeared above my head. It was actually later down the track, okay? So although I'd have my snap moment where I decided to let things change, I was only, decision to change was there. The reason to change was there, okay? But the why and the reason and how I needed to do it, I hadn't found that yet. But later down the track in December, November of 2017, where I was heading to a 3-day course with a bunch of other trainers, right? I didn't want to be that PT who was eating unhealthy foods during breaks and started to work my way up to regular food preps several weeks before in order to get a bit of consistency going. And we know that consistency for me was horrible at that point. Weekends, binge alcohol, fast food, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward now, I'm fine, but we'll get to that. So hold your horses, Jake. Don't go too fast here. So I was working my way up to making regular food preps before in order to get a bit of consistency going. I came away from that weekend realizing how overcomplicated I'd made things in the past. And I set myself to working on my training and habits in my daily life surrounding food, okay? So how long has it been since I've achieved my goals? And my goals back then were to overcome that pain and get in better shape than I was then. I've achieved a lot of those goals in relation to my body. A few major ones would be squatting and deadlifting again without low back pain, right? Even other exercises in the gym, bench pressing, walking, I don't get any pain now. Sleeping in my stomach, don't get any pain now. So they were the simple ones, and then the more complex ones for the exercises in the gym. But the major ones I've accomplished and will continue to work on is building a lean body composition, which is more muscle and less fat, that I'm quite proud of. That's also stronger than I was post-injury, sorry. So for me, I didn't want to just get back to where I was. I wanted to overcome that bulging disc and be 10 times better than I was before, okay? That was just my drive. That was my fire. So with that, I'm a work in progress. I know that for sure. And I always will be. And my goals keep shifting. My goalposts will always move because I'm one of those people that can't sit still and just work, get complacent with one thing or everything. I want to keep pushing the limits of who I am and seeing what I'm really capable of. And I've been trying to build on that success I've had in the last 2 years currently. And I'm I won't go into the details because you guys, if you're following me on social media, you will see as I progress in my day-to-day lifestyles and activities. But I want to go into what kept me, I guess, motivated. Now, I wasn't particularly motivated as how do I describe this? I wasn't relying on motivation. I was relying on the commitment and being accountable, okay? But what I had in place was a strong support network around me. But that also it allowed me to be more consistent. And when I was more consistent because I had that strong support network, I was seeing in my body more changes. I was seeing my back get stronger, and I was building up my personal training business on the side. So that really helped me stay on track because I needed to be a good example as a coach, and I needed to make sure that I wasn't slacking. So that support network of trainers and good friends that I had were also, keeping me accountable. One thing I really didn't want to do was go backwards to the point of suffering any lower back pain again and being told that you don't look like a personal trainer, mate. Definitely never want to hear that again. Full stop. So that's that. Now, I have made mistakes, and I really want to explain how these mistakes have actually contributed to me taking steps forward. They've fueled my growth as I've learned from them. I've been very self-reflective of what I've done in the past and how I've done it better now. The major ones are being more planned and prepared for my weeks of training and my day-to-day eating habits. My biggest struggle, though, and I will highlight this, is I've always faced a lack of planning when it came to weekends. I would binge drink and eat different takeaways and eat lots of chicken or pizza or just lots of sweets, confectionery, donuts, etc. This meant that my weekdays were really decent, but my Friday and Saturday and Sunday nights were not the best when it came to my health and fitness goals. My goals now, though, to continue building, I really want to build the strength through my hips and my lower back so that I never experience any significant lower back pain again, alongside getting visibly more muscular and lean. So that, again, more muscle, less body fat, but I also want to increase my strength so that and be more self-aware of my body and knowing, okay, if I'm going to hurt myself, can I identify that before it actually happens? So just building self-awareness in my body. I know that this is going to take time because it's taken me about 2 years since I really started to get to this point of overcoming pain. So everything now is just work in progress. I haven't got an end date. It's just taking the days as it comes and seeing what I can get out of trying my very best. So I'm going to continue to work on my training. I'm going to continue to work on my eating habits and my nutrition. And I'm going to continue to work on my accountability routines to see it through. So my success has actually, now when I say success, so what I've achieved so far is I would deem this as a success for me because I was that young kid who, how do I say this? I wasn't motivated, I guess. I didn't have a goal. I didn't know what I wanted to achieve. So in that regard, my successes that I've achieved so far and what they've done for me have affected my relationships in positive ways. Now I'm talking about my friends, talking about my family, and how they always compliment me now, and you're so disciplined, or you're in such great shape, or mate, you're so strong, blah blah blah. All of that. My relationships with my family and everything that is just improved in general. I'm in a better, unique position, actually, based on my experience and struggles, to guide my own clients to a better position in their own health and fitness. And I feel like I stand on equal ground with some great trainers now and talk all things training, nutrition, and just feel confident in myself because I know I've had put in the effort and I'm still going to keep striving for more. And everything that I've done with my body now and how it's changed my mindset and outlook has actually allowed me to come and speak to you from a really unique position through this podcast and through this live radio show as well. So I'm very grateful for where just having that bulging disc has led me to now. So I would never change that as well. I'm able to put myself out there now confidently at all, through my weight loss and fitness support group on Facebook. with my clients, helping people all across the world through social media. It's afforded me the confidence and ability to go ahead and start, this podcast again, build my app to coach my clients remotely, like in places of WA, Western Australia, and Central Victoria. There's no way I could have foreseen all of this, but just by working again on my personal health and fitness. And the confidence it's given me has spanned across all aspects, fumble, of my life, and not just in my body image. Let's just talk about that fumble. I've done pretty well so far. Usually I'm pretty fumbly. So this is quite good. Now, I like to reflect. I'm very self-reflective, and I'd like to give my younger self just one piece of advice, if I could. And the chances are he's probably never going to listen to this, but I'll give it to him anyway. And it would be to change nothing and just write it out, because he's on the path to a very unique position in life where he will be very happy in his body, his mindset, his career, his family, his relationships. He's gonna be in a really good spot. And so I would change nothing, because it has led me to where I am now. But to my older self, I would say not to get complacent and do not stop looking for areas to grow and improve yourself in your relationships, in your body, in your health, and to keep investing in yourself, because you've got the goods. And I might be doing okay now, but in 10 to 15 years, I want you to be influencing lots of people all over the world to take better steps in their health and fitness and their mindset and their well-being, and to really look after themselves the right way. So, future me, when you're listening to this, make sure you're doing what I'm telling you now. You better be influencing more people, all right? You have potential. So now the advice that I'd like to give for those you guys here listening to this podcast, whether you're on commute to work, or you're in the shower. I listen to podcasts in the shower, but that's just me. When you're out walking, or at the gym, wherever you are, wherever you're hearing this from, if you're live or if you're listening to us as a podcast, I've got some advice for you and what I would give to anyone who's also starting their health and fitness journeys. And it would be to not do it alone. So what does that mean? I want you to talk to your close friends, talk to your family, your colleagues, and anyone who's going to get back to you and back you when you're not backing yourself. You need someone in your corner, and surround yourself with people who have belief in you until you can believe in yourself too. So that is my story. That is a lot about me, but you're going to get more out of me as we go through this journey, this podcasting journey, this radio journey. And I hope that you enjoyed a bit of an insight into me, and that you can understand what to look forward to in the coming episodes. So if you have any more questions and you want to know about me a bit more, or you just have some health and fitness questions, it's weight loss, it's strength, anything that you're not sure and you need a bit of guidance or just a bit of advice, reach out to me on my social media platforms. Jake Pearson on Facebook, Jake Pearson on Facebook business page, Instagram, Jake Pearson, my email, jakepearsonpt@gmail.com. My website is also just www.jakepearson.com.au. So you can reach out to me on any of these platforms if you need some advice, you need some help, and I'm happy to respond to you. So I just, again, love to thank you for listening to my story, whether you tune in live through Apple 98.5 FM or as a podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. Thanks again, and have a lovely day.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Redesign Your Body podcast. If you're looking for more daily support and inspiration, you can join our community Facebook support group. Just head over to our website at redesignpodcast.com/podcast. Jake, signing off.